Good Monday morning of the third week of Easter. And actually, today is a Thursday morning, long before that. I got to get ready for church and class this morning. It's Thursday morning. I got class at 8 o'clock. Anyway, I like to do these videos way in advance because I don't want them on my mind. I don't want to rush them. And this way I could do it with a certain degree of leisure. And I'm feeling company. Look how I'm dressed. Well, this is how I look in school. I got my sweatshirt on. My Bill Ritchie hunting sweatshirt. It's the truth. Talk about informality. Whatever. But today's readings, I'll tell you this whole week, unless there's something else, but I'm just going by the entire week. What you're seeing now is the growth of the church, and you see it in two ways. You're going to gradually see the martyrdom of the early church and the Eucharist. In the Acts of the Apostles, you're going to see the great adventure of the early preaching of the church. Philip and Stephen, etc. All right? And you see the conversional element, but you also see the martyrdom, the blood of the martyrs. In the gospel, and the gospels are from John. And that John, I told you a million times now, that John is the mystical writer. He has insight, profound insight, that I think the other writers, the other apostles, gospels, I don't think they have the depth that he has, okay? The things that he witnesses why he has it. First of all, he knew Christ, but so does St. Matthew, okay, and the gang, okay? Not that. It's that he witnessed the martyrdom of the apostles. He learned what the church was, I think, through the experience of the death of his friends. And that's, I think, and he also has natural poetic and I'd say prophetic insight. John's a genius. I would call him a religious genius. There's some people who have this penetrating insight, and they go beyond the narrative. They go beyond the truth of the story. They go to the obvious truth of the story. They go to the meaning of the story, and that's John. So when John talks about the Eucharist, he takes it to a level that the others don't have. They're not taken away from Matthew, Mark, and Luke. But John, I remember I said this 100 times now. You got to be tired of listening to me, but whatever. And that is, if you really start with, you could say start with John, read him first, and then go read the others. John is the culmination of it all, but he gives you the insight, you'll see. Anyhow, whatever it may be worth, that's how I read it. I start with John, and then I read Matthew, Mark, and Luke, because I want the wisdom of the gospel, and I think it's that way. If you want to read the Old Testament, start with Exodus, and then read Genesis. Don't do it the other way around, you see. Because Genesis is written in the light of Exodus. Exodus is not written in the light of Genesis. So you read the last chapter first, and then you understand the first chapter. That's how it works. It's not a mystery novel, okay? You want to know who done it before you read the story, you see, okay? Not a mystery, or it's not that kind of mystery. Well, in the first reading, it's Stephen, filled with the grace and power. He was working great wonders and signs among the people. What was he doing? He was living the Christ life, you see. And of course, he was going to get persecuted by the very same people that persecuted Christ, the Jewish leadership, you see. Okay, and they went up against him, okay? And they accused him, said the leadership instigated some men to say, we have heard him speaking blasphemous words against Moses and God. The same accusation against Christ. They stirred the people up. The elders and the scribes accosted him, seized him, and brought him before the Sanhedrin. Guess what? That's what happened to Christ, you see. They presented false witnesses who testified, this man never stopped saying things against the holy place and the law. What our Lord said, what Christ said about the temple. For we have heard him claim that this Jesus the Nazarene will destroy this place, the temple, you see, and change the customs that Moses handed down to us. All those who sat in the Sanhedrin looked intently at him and saw that his face was like the face of an angel. I love that line. He was magnificent. Stephen, you see. Stephen stands, he's proto-martyr. He's the first of the martyrs, you see. That's a neat story, isn't it? You see. He's living the Christ life. It's not a replication, it's a continuation. And that's what we do. We do. We live the Christ life by living the faith. Maybe not as elegantly and eloquently as Stephen or the apostles or whatever, but we do it in our own way and in our own mode of witnessing. For the majority of people, it's witnessing within the immediacy of their home as they live the faith through their marriage and their parenting. Yes, and the way they care for the elders of their family. When I need an example, if I'm looking for an example of fidelity, I just think of my mother taking care of my father when my father no longer knew her. He didn't know who she was. He thought she was a waitress or a nurse. He did. He also thought, it's a cute story, he also thought he was a young man again. And who's this old lady? Except she's a waitress in the house. You had to be there. I told you the story. It's so cute. And my mother was howling, laughing because of it. She wasn't crying, she was laughing when he didn't know her anymore. And she visited him every day, taking a bus across the city. And then in the winter, it didn't make any difference. And he didn't know her. That's fidelity, see? And she says to him in Italian, "Ti conosci me? Do you know me?" "No, I'm your wife." "Tu sposa, wife, te vecchia. You're an old lady." "My wife, you're an old lady." My mother started howling. I was standing there when she did that. When he said, "Vecchia, you're an old lady." That's fidelity. See, that to me is living the Christ life. See, it's faithful to the calling of the moment and the calling of your life. You live it faithfully. Well, my mother took her marriage vows so many years before. She didn't know that she would be visiting a man that didn't know her anymore across the city, where she had to take a bus every day to visit someone who didn't even know her, someone who she shared her life with. Isn't that a story? Huh? I never complained for a second. When he died, I told you that story. When my dad died, I thought, my God, Mom, you're free now. You no longer have to. And think of all the implications. As you said, he was still alive, even though he didn't know her. He's still alive. Wasn't that elegant and eloquent? See, that's the Christ life. To me, that's Stephen Martyr. Okay, you live it. You calls it like you sees it. Yeah. Whatever your life takes you to, is to be faithful to the vocation of your life, the calling, whatever it may look like. Stephen is called to be a martyr. He's the first of the martyrs. Someone else lives to be an old man. John lives to be an old man. And in his elderly years, he writes the most poignant of all the Gospels because he got to live and know about the Stephen martyrs. You see, there is no perfect life. There is only the life we're called to live. And we witness to Christ in the life that we live. Not some magical ways. There is no magic formula. It's fidelity to the life that we're called by God to live. I really believe that. We witness the truth of who and what is Christ by our fidelity to life itself. How we live it. Our spouses, our children, our vocations. See? Yeah. Hopefully I think that because I'm a celibate, that it's in my ministry as a priest and as a religious, but also as a philosopher and a teacher. I hope I witness to the love of truth in the classroom. Philosophy, the love of wisdom, you see. I hope I do that. That it's more than passing on information, but rather an inspiration to always seek what is true, good, and beautiful. I hope I witness that. More than teaching, picking up a paycheck. I'm not picking up a paycheck. I'm witnessing the best I can. I hope. See? Anyway, just a thought today.